a detailed view of means why people go for the front-end development. And in the last, we will open a channel for question and answer round, where you can type your question and we will try to cover all the question and answer. Right? So let's get started, guys. So to talk about myself, I have almost 13 plus years of experience in this industry, IT industry. Before starting of the Digikull, I joined as a developer, and I mainly work for the clients like HSBC, HDFC, and I went to US to work for the Capital One. I worked there for 3 years before coming back to India. I quit my job in USA and I started my first venture, which was Buy Home Food. It was an e-commerce website. That didn't work out well. That was definitely, the trial on first venture. After that, I decided to do my MBA. I went to UK to do my MBA from Warwick Business School. After completing my MBA, I joined as a director in Windmill Smart Solutions, which is uh, a Swiss-based company. They used to build digital applications for the client based out of US, UK, and they had a huge client base, starting from startup to Fortune 500 company. I was responsible for leading the India operations. We were a growing team here, and uh, since we were growing, then definitely we were hiring for the technical role. And when we were hiring for the technical roles, at that point of time, we realized that, okay, there is a huge gap in terms of skills. So it is kind of contradictory, right? The industry is saying that, okay, we are lacking people who are skilled, right? On the other hand, there are millions, almost a million, 1.5 million students, those who are engineering students, those who are graduating every year. And they are saying that, okay, there are no jobs for us, right? So why this contradiction is there? Okay, the reason is that our engineering education, what they are teaching, and what the industry demand is quite different, right? The engineering college doesn't teach React. They doesn't teach that much of Python, right? They basically more focus on the theory, right? More focus towards the knowledge, right? Okay, means knowing the things, not how to do the things, right? So that is where we thought about, okay, means if there is a still, means I got in touch with my friends who are CEOs and directors in other companies. They also share the same problem, that, okay, means this is the biggest problem that we are facing, the talent acquisition, right? Then that is where the Digikull originated, right? Means the main motive of Digikull is to skill the people, right? Provide industry with a job ready developer. When we say job ready developer, that means after attending our boot camp, after attending our courses, you should be able to, once you join the company, you are productive from day one. The point was that there were two challenges we had. One, okay, how to make this, how to structure this course so that we can provide a truly job candidate, ready candidate. And the second challenge was how we make such education accessible to everyone, irrespective of their financial background. Because at that point of time, there were institutions which were already existing, like CDAC were there, and there were many local institutes were there, right? But the problem was, in order to attend those courses, they demanded almost 1 lakh to 1.5 lakh fees, right? And that to upfront, right? So it was not possible for everyone to pay that much of a fee, right? And the point is, even after spending so much of time and energy, and there was a lot of chances that okay, the student they didn't get a job, right? So there was a huge financial risk on the student side, and less of a financial risk on the institution side, right? And so we decided that okay, we will go with a pay after placement model, where a student only need to pay when they are successful. Okay, that is how we thought of making this accessible to everyone. And this all our classes is going to be online, so anyone can attend from any part of India, right? You doesn't have to go to tier one cities like Pune, Hyderabad, spend almost 70 to 80,000 in renting a room, and this is also a big challenge, right? So you can sit at your home. You need to have a computer. You need to have a good internet connection, and you can gain all these skills, right? You doesn't need anything else, right? So that is how Digikull was originated. Right now, I was just looking. Means I really want to share with everyone an article which is basically highlighted Digikull as among the top 10 growing startups in India. And we are fortunate that definitely we have received a good response from the student side, and we are able to gain the trust of the student. We are able to place, we are able to make a difference uh, in many students' life, and we are able to place them in the leading company. So this is the introduction about the Digikull. Let me cover web development, right? Many of our students, I would say almost 60 to 70% of the students, they are from non-technical background, okay? And many students that we have placed, they were coding their first program with us, right? They had no knowledge, okay, what the web developments look like, right? So let me know when I'm sharing my screen. And okay, I hope you guys are able to see my screen. So in order to understand the web development, let's take some, a very familiar website, Amazon.com, right? So there are two components, two major components in the web development. One is front end and one is back end, right? Uh, So front end is something that we can see right in front of us. So front end can be a website like we are looking at Amazon.com. It can be a mobile application installed in your mobile phone, whether it is a Android or your Apple, right? So what you see in those screen is basically a front end. Okay, and another component is basically backend, what you don't see. For example, means this data, right? If I like open this toy and games, right, there will be thousands of toys information that will be coming, but where this data is stored, right, that is basically stored in our backend, something which we don't see, right? Front end is just a tip of our iceberg, which is basically visible to everyone, right? But the iceberg, deep down, it goes, very deep into the sea. Uh, and another example, if I really want to talk about, when you go to a restaurant, right? You order a paneer tikka with, some curry and some rice, right? You make that order, okay? And after receiving that order, uh, that order is taken to the kitchen, right? Um, and all the food, all the ingredients are mixed and they are cooked, they are prepared, and then the waiter will take the order from the kitchen and that will present right in front of your table, right? So the cooked food, which you have requested, right? That is basically our front end, right? And the kitchen where this food is cooked, right? That is basically our back end. Okay. So okay, let me just open and okay. So basically our this is our front end, right? Then this is some it may be a web application, right? It may be a website, and this is basically our backend. Okay. So what front end does, it basically let me just insert some text. So front end send a request to back end, like you send a request to the kitchen, okay, prepare something and present something back to us. Okay, on the back end side, you have a lot many things like your server, your data, right? Um, then it also has the program, basically, programs, all the programs are stored here. And on the front end side, you have the front end only. If I talk about web front end, right? They are definitely different kind of a front end, mobile front end. If I talk about the web front end, they only understand these three things: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, right? Now let look at this. This is one of the front end. Okay. So if you look at here, right, um, you see a lot many images, a lot of text, and some behavior, right? If you click here for example, and type here, right, there is a list appearing, right? There is a lot of things which is happening on the front end. So let's talk about what role is played by HTML, CSS, and JavaScript on the front end side. Okay, how the front end is built. The HTML, so just imagine that you are painting something. Okay, just imagine this as a painting. Okay, when you start building a painting, what you first do, you first try to using a pencil. Okay, you first draw the outline. Okay, that is where my heart is going to be, and somewhere, okay, here the sun is here, right? Just with a black pencil, okay, just black and white, you create a structure of your painting. Okay, these are the elements that need to be present in my painting. Okay, so that is basically built by our HTML. Okay, so if you see here, right, all these elements, this card, this text, right, if you just remove the color and the alignment, okay, that is how the basic HTML page would look like. Okay, so for example, shop all these. Okay, then your Amazon, right? So that is how the website will look like, only with HTML, just completely back and forth. Okay. Now, next thing what you do in your when you're painting something, right? Once you draw the structure, then you basically try to color them. Okay, make that beautiful. Okay, that part is done by the CSS. Okay, so uh, great. So here we have all the three components: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Right now, what you see down here is basically our, like outcome, the web page. Okay, this is the code: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Let me do one thing. Let me just remove first CSS from this. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm just removing this. Okay, and what happens is if I remove the CSS, right? See, without CSS, how it is appearing? Just black and white. This is basically our HTML. What HTML is saying? Okay, I need to provide a heading. Okay, that is basically H1. I need to provide a paragraph, right? This is our paragraph, and I need to have one button. Okay, and this is our button. There is no color, there is no alignment. How we make it look beautiful? It is basically using our CSS, right? If I again paste it, so what it's saying is, okay, I need to have a border. Okay, you can change the font size, you can make it big, right? And you can provide some background color like dogger blue, right? So all these things you can do using your CSS, right? So HTML basically provide a structure. CSS basically beautify this, but what does JavaScript does? Okay, means in your web page and or the painting that you were building, so you have built your house, you have built a structure, you painted it, you painted everything else, but how you can make it move, right? That is where you need to come up with some programming, right? Here are some functions. And what this function is doing, it is basically providing behavior to our website. So if I hide something, if I click on this, it is basically, like there was a paragraph, it is basically hiding that paragraph. Okay, that's a behavior. Means now the static website is that doesn't have any behavior, right? That cannot means I cannot do anything with that. But if I'm able to interact with my website, if for example in here, if I click here, it provide a list, right? That's basically a JavaScript which is doing it. If I click here, that's providing a model, right? That's basically done by the JavaScript, right? So this behavior is then done by our JavaScript. Okay. So I hope everyone is clear. Okay, means what is front end, web front end, in fact, and what all main component that we have in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We also, if you look at the Digikull website, the course curriculum of the front end. Let me open a front end. Okay. Okay, so this is our course structure, right? HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, JS, Redux. Okay, that's a good question. What is React, JS, and Redux? Recently, I told you guys that, okay, our browser, basically, any browser, whether it is Chrome or whether it is our Edge, Microsoft Edge, or Mozilla, these browser only understand HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. React is also a front-end language, right? But how come they understand the React? React is nothing but a JavaScript library. Okay, so at the base, it is only the JavaScript. right? At the core, in fact. It's a library, means it is a tools, it is a set of tools which basically help in building a scalable web application like Amazon. And why we need tools? That's the question, right? Why we can't just do it with simple JavaScript, right? Uh, to answer that question, uh, let's take any, any probably this Amazon application. It has millions of and millions of products, right? If I want to code this Amazon website just by using simple HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, it will be multi-million lines of code, and it will become impossible for us to basically manage that kind of a thing. Okay, that is where to make a very large website manageable, some of the companies like Facebook has come up with React. Okay, Google has come up with Angular framework. So these are the tools that you know ease basically, they provide some structure to a program which is easily manageable. Okay, for example, if I want to display these cards, right? So if I want to just do with JavaScript, CSS, and HTML, it may require maybe many thousand lines of code, right? But using React, I can simply build this in just 100 lines, make this particular component reusable. Okay, I just need to pass the image to one component, the price, and some heading or rating, these information to one component, one reusable component, and it will basically will change, accordingly will render the UI, means it will render the web page for us, right? So to build a very scalable and very large application, you need some tool like React.js. Okay, so I hope you guys understand now the importance of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React.js. React.js is the most popular, the library that is being used on the JavaScript side. Okay, that's very much in demand. Uh, so if you many of the front end developers, they just know HTML, right? CSS only. Okay, with simply HTML and CSS. Okay, so you might get a job of 10,000 rupees, 12,000 rupees. Okay, depending on, okay, means what kind of company that you are going to. What majorly, the difference, which language is going to create that difference? It's basically JavaScript and React.js, right? Because the website, if you go out in the market, the website can also be built in 1,000 rupees. You will find a developer, okay, they will basically create a simple bootstrap application and they will sell you, okay, in 1,000 rupees, in 4 hours, I will build a static website and I will sell it to you. Okay, so but there are some websites, okay, if you want to build, that costs 10 lakh rupees, 15 lakh rupees, and those website, right, scalable website, you need to use definitely these advanced framework. And if you have these skills in you, okay, you will be definitely able to get a higher web package. And that is why what we commit, the between 3.5 to 12 lakh rupees package is something that we can provide once you learn these technologies. Okay, and that too in just 3 months, 3.5 months, right? So any question about the front end? I hope everyone is clear about the front end. Anyone has any questions? So you have a chat, you can basically ask about the front end. I hope it is clear to everyone. Okay. So if there's no question, then I will basically move to the program side. So this front-end development program, okay, means this is the first time that we basically were charging certain fee initially, but this is the first time that we have completely removed the fee. But at the same time, we have made this admission process a bit difficult, right? The reason is uh, we are only going to take those students, those who are really passionate about building something. Okay, that is the reason you might have seen, uh, you only receive WhatsApp messages, right? Probably, I don't think we have done a lot of calls to you because we are looking for students, those who come to us and say, okay, sir, I really want to learn this. Okay, there are two types of sales, right? One thing, you go behind the student, and they, you basically chase them. Okay, you have not completed the test. When are you going to complete the test, right? We probably are not going to do that, right? The reason is definitely we are looking for students, those who they basically, okay, for the first time, okay, if I have dedicated my 1 hour, right? uh, and then, okay, even if I fail, I'm going to reattempt it, right? We have all the data, all the activities of the student, okay, means who is doing what, right? Who is basically responding, who is not responding, right? Because once you get into this program, especially, right, you will be having 2 hours classes. Okay. Uh, Apart from the classes, right, you will have assignments. Okay. Initially, I talked about two things. Okay. Uh, Skill and knowledge. Okay. So, what is knowledge? Many of you might be from engineering. Okay, means I have myself done engineering from NIT, and I know that how I pass the exam, especially semester exams. Right, we basically start reading about the courses almost 2 days earlier, and we by heart everything. And on the exam day, we basically clear the test just by whatever rectification that we have done. We just write it and then forget it. Okay, so knowledge is basically about knowing the thing. Okay. For example, I have till now I have just given you knowledge. Okay. What is HTML? Okay. Why we use it? Right. What is CSS? Why we use it? What is JavaScript? Why we use it? What is React? Why we use it? If I ask you to write, okay, means you can write one paragraph about each of them. That's basically a knowledge. Okay. But if I ask you to utilize this knowledge and build something for me, okay, build a web page of e-commerce application, right? That is basically a skill. Okay, so here in this program, definitely 40% is going to be a knowledge, and the more focus is towards the skill. So we will be giving you assignments, individual assignments, assignments in group as well, right? And almost 3 hours you will spend in the class, 1 hour doubt clearing, and 2 hours of live classes where you can, stop the teacher and ask your doubt. Okay, these are interactive classes. Doubt clearing session is basically when you are doing the assignment, you might get stuck at some point of time. So in doubt clearing, you can ask question. Okay, sir, you can share your screen and say, sir, this is the error I'm getting, and I'm not able to proceed. Okay, so such time of doubt clearing classes are going to be there. Apart from that, you need a lot of self practice, and we do not want that. Okay, means we get a kind of a student, those who are passionate for learning, and they code by themselves, right? We doesn't have to chase everyone. Okay, you have not done your assignment, you have not done your assignment, right? So we are basically looking for that kind of a student. Okay, so you all might have received a test link, right? We do not charge anything. We do not expect anything from you until you start earning, right? We literally charge zero fee. Okay. Definitely, one thing is we do is we sign an income sharing agreement. Okay, that's basically a kind of a agreement that you sign. Okay, once you get a job, right, then you are going to pay a fee to us, right? So that you will have to sign. Okay, and once you clear the test, okay, our customer success executive will get in touch with you. They will explain about what the ISA is, right? All the major point in the ISA, okay, and you can ask the doubt to them, like okay, ma'am, this is the doubt, okay, and they will be able to answer. And once you are comfortable, okay, with ISA and with with everything, then only you basically sign, and then we basically enroll you in this course. So the first step is to clear the test by yourself. Okay. Any question in enrollment process or anything? Question, guys? Everyone is clear? Okay, great, Dave. Thank you for that. Okay, so I will just wait for maybe 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, so test result definitely, if you give time, right? So we give some chances, right? We try to see, okay, means how dedicated you are, and definitely we give multiple chances to clear that. Just to see that, okay, means you are get dedicated to get into this program. Okay, so how much amount you should pay after the placement? So after the placement, we charge 1,50,000 plus GST, and that you need to pay in 24 months EMI. Up to 24 months EMI. Means you can choose, okay, means you can pay in 12 EMI. Some of the students those who, I think on the website you might have seen Nihal, right? So he got a placement of 6 LPA just, just after the completion of the program. And he opted, okay, means I will pay in 1 month, 1 year, right? In just 12 months. So you can choose between 12 to 24 months, right? And this is interest free. You doesn't have to pay any interest on that, right? That is basically taken care by the Digikull, right? So you pay 1,50,000 plus GST. That's the total you need to pay. But again, only when you get a minimum job of 3.5 LPA, only after that. Means otherwise you don't pay any fee. Okay, so the only guarantee that we are giving is basically okay, you only need to pay when you get a job. So what that means is we earn on the success of our student, and the reason why we work very hard on our student, because definitely we are only going to earn when you guys are successful. And uh, it's basically if I talk about the placement rate, definitely we have a 95% placement success rate for the student, those who are able to complete the program, right? There are certain students who basically drop the program just, like when the JavaScript starts, basically, because some realize, okay, means they quit. Either, they do not want to put more effort, or they realize, okay, means this is not something that is made for us, right? Because as I said, we are open to non-tech students as well, right? Means those who have never coded in their life, right? And such student, it is just like an experiment for them, right? Means whether it is going to work for me or not, right? And they realize, okay, means it's not working, and they basically quit, right? One more thing, we do provide a trial period in the ISA. Okay, for example, in the first uh, 15 days, right? Even if you quit, okay, you realize, okay, means I'm not able to catch up, or I'm not able to understand anything. You're free to quit, right? But after, okay, means you doesn't have to pay one single fee to us, right? Just zero fee. Okay, but after that, if you quit, okay, definitely you come under the ISA. Means it's not 1,50,000 rupees a month. It depends, okay, how much course you have done, right? So we do provide a trial period where you can assess, okay, means whether I'm understanding the thing, whether, this means how is the teacher, how is the institute, right? How means whether this is something is working for you or not, and then you can make a decision. Your placement is 100% our responsibility, right? We have companies with whom we have a tie-up, right? We have 100 plus companies right now. Even, right now, if I talk about the current status, right? And uh, definitely that's completely our responsibility to conduct your interviews and get you placed. So, Manthan, I hope I answered your question about the placement, and any more questions? Great. Okay, agreement, I think I already talked to you about income sharing agreement. That means that agreement is basically about, okay, how much amount and what are the conditions. Okay, so once you clear the test, our customer success executive will call you and clarify, discuss all the points about the ISA. So it is basically logical reasoning test. Most of the logical reasoning questions are there, and some flowchart based question. Flowchart, but you doesn't require any technical knowledge to basically crack that. It is basically about yes and no. Okay, means those kind of a question. Uh, okay, and getting the output. Okay, means after all the steps are complete, then okay, what is going to be the outcome? So you doesn't require any technical knowledge to clear that test. We try to test, okay, means the logical side. Okay, after this webinar, you will start getting the call from the customer success. Okay, if no other questions, from when the class will start. So it is starting from, I think, 21st of January.